The festival, this was our 52nd year, and we've never ventured into a relationship with a company like you guys. Literally, from the moment we sat down with you guys, we just felt comfortable. Just the ideas you guys brought to the table, just the opportunity to not have to worry about what you guys did, right? So I trust in you guys, and I think everybody, everybody at the church, and when we are like, look, we're putting our trust in Sage and to Alex and Michael and everything that they do and the people that they bring to the table, the power team that they have. You guys exceeded everything that we could have imagined.
I pray for our continued successes in our respective businesses, professionally, personally, etc. And I think much of the work that I'm doing in this time in my career and the work Sage is doing collectively is like we're a trusted partner / vendor to our clients. We're extending what they're able to do in-house. So let me properly introduce you, Mr. Alex Mavros.
Oh, thank you.
Pleasure to see you here.
Appreciate it.
Number one, real estate professional. Would like to talk to you a bit about that later on. You and I met, of course, due to the work we did with the Greek Festival.
The amazing work you guys did with the Greek Festival.
It's very kind of you. I'd love to hear, could you summarize to me your feelings towards Sage, the relationship thus far, etc.?
How long is our podcast?
As long as you want it to be.
Okay. No, the thing about it is the festival, this was our 52nd year, and we've never ventured into a relationship with a company like you guys. Every year, I think I've been talking about it for years and years. We need to find a company, and luckily Stephanie had worked with you guys, and so referred you, and we had an amazing, literally from the moment we sat down with you guys, we just felt comfortable. Just the ideas you guys brought to the table, just the opportunity to not have to worry about what you guys did, right? So I know we probably should have had the conversation even before we did. Wish we had another, handful of tens of thousands of dollars to throw your way to be able to extend that reach even further than you did. But the amount of people that I believe came to the festival, because again, this was our 52nd year. We felt like everybody knows the Greek Food Festival. There's 3 million people in Vegas. Why isn't we only want 30,000? Why are we not bursting at the seams? But one of the things that I think we finally sat down, we had a really amazing committee and just everybody worked very well together, is we realized that we needed to get into the neighborhoods. We needed to get into the different communities. We needed to get the word out to be able to share people what's going on. Is, every weekend there's something going on, whether it's the Lebanese festival or, the Hawaiian festival. I mean, there's something going on literally every month, every week. Then you've got iHeart and you've got the Raiders and you've got so there's so many different things that are going on that people are very inundated with all these different events. So being able to push the information out like you did, and you had to create it. You're like, Alex, Big Al, I go by Big Al. Dude, I just want a video from you, just sharing what the festival is, what the VIP area is, the raffle, just all these different aspects of it. And so I spent, the afternoon, my office is over the district. I, spent the afternoon walking up and down the district, filming all these different videos. I don't think anybody ever really likes themselves on video, but I've gotten over it by now. And so I think that was a number one, an amazing idea, but it's also kind of tied a little bit of a personality to the festival. So when people came out, they were like, hey, I saw your video.
Look, you're alive. You have a big personality. I mean, I think it's perfect for this type of thing.
And it was funny because remember that weekend we had terrible weather.
I was sitting in my office. It was 4:30 p.m. The rain starts coming down massive. I said, oh my.
Yeah.
Oh my. However, correct me if I'm wrong.
I jumped on Facebook. I said, we're going.
Yeah, we're going.
Rain or shine. And look, God, hey, we were very blessed. We had some wind, we had a little bit of rain, but I know out here in Henderson, there was, because Jen was saying there was like torrential downpour, there was like hail. So we were very, very blessed. The weather was actually amazing all weekend. Dark clouds. So yeah, I jumped on Instagram, did some videos, jumped on Facebook Live, did some videos, and people still came out. We're trying to do a few things that we might change up the festival a little bit this year to maybe a little bit add some more shade structures and some more tents. So those are some ideas we have. But look, overall,
I mean, look, we have a baseline now. We're only going to improve.
Yep.
And we showed the power that digital can do in advance of a major event. Without going into numbers, it was very successful, and let that be a new baseline. Yeah. And we continue to learn and pay attention, and I think that's where it's at. And
being able to trust you guys, that your core competency is, our competency is running the festival. Your competency is advertising and getting people there, and bringing Adam to the table with the amazing work that he did, good. And the other influencers that you brought to some of the other events prior, and then the ones that came the weekend of the festival. I mean, those are the relationships that you have that we were very blessed to have you bring them to the table and share some of their expertise. And
that content will pay dividends for many years to come.
Absolutely.
I assure you.
Yeah.
I assure you. And it was so fun, and we're frankly already thinking we've already met at least once about 2026.
We've already had a handful of meetings already.
Yeah. So you end one and you start the next.
Literally. We already have our dates, September 25th through the 27th. So we're already on the books. We pray many, many times before we get to that point that there's not a Raiders game, a Knights game, iHeart concert, because we set our schedule a year out. We don't have the opportunity to be able to change it, with Metro and getting them on the books and our, sound guy for setup. So we have to set up so far out that we can't adjust it. So,
you said something interesting, and it kind of goes in line with one of the topics I wanted to talk about. You made reference to, we can just trust that it's being handled.
Yeah.
Right. And I think much of the work that I'm doing in this time in my career and the work Sage is doing collectively is like we're a trusted partner / vendor to our clients. We're extending what they're able to do in-house, right? Yeah. And that's so important to me because people, if I was stopped right now in an elevator and said, "Hey, Alex, what do you do?" Say, "I'm a designer, builder, manager of WordPress websites." And we amplify those sites on Meta, digital marketing, Google Ads. That's like in 5 seconds. But really, we don't want to be looked upon as just as a website vendor, right? There's many website vendors, and we're not the only capable people in the world. There's many talented people. But when it comes to the relationship and making sure that we understand what's of import to you, one of the biggest things also is to say, well, we don't specialize in that. Let's find someone that does. Let us help you connect to the right person, right? Part of that trust building is the ability to say when you don't know something, right?
Absolutely.
That's so critical. So I wonder, in your own life, professionally and or personally, like, what are things that you're doing that help in building trust with your clients? That was the one thing I wanted to bring up that I didn't tell you, because when the moment I met you, I said, I love this guy. I would give him the keys to my house. I trust him just immediately, right?
Well, thank you.
Of course, but I mean it. Like, I really do. And I don't think that that's something that one can, that's not something that one puts on. It's just like, that's who you are.
Yeah.
And I suspect that merges well into your professional life, right? With your clients, correct?
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing is, especially in my life and the people that I've met over the years, is I trust you until you give me a reason not to.
Yeah.
Right? So I trust in you guys, and I think everybody at the church, and when we are like, look, we're putting our trust in Sage and to Alex and Michael and everything that they do and the people that they bring to the table, the power team that they have, you can't second guess it, right? We didn't know what to expect. We hoped and we prayed and over again, and you guys exceeded everything that we could have imagined, right?
Thank God, yeah.
But even on my end as a residential real estate agent, it's always funny because I always say that we don't just buy and sell homes. we're a landscaper, we're a janitor, we have a psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever it is, we do those things.
Yep.
At the end of the day, like, we say we're a realtor, but I mean, there's so many other things that we have to do. Just like you guys, you wear a lot of different hats, and you have to, your job also doesn't end when you leave the office. You're always meeting new professionals, you're always meeting new people. And, numerous times throughout, the relationship that we had last year in moving into the festival was an idea that you had, well, why don't you guys do this? Or, you would set up a meeting with an event planner and say, hey, did this work? Did all of it work out? No. We had a handful of meetings where we met with some people, but always knowing that you guys were always looking out for our best interest and saying, you know what, I might have somebody that might be a good piece of the puzzle for you guys.
Let's explore.
Is huge. Exactly. Let's explore. Let's see if there's anything there. Might not be anything, but who knows? It might. And so it's very important to to take that and kind of reflect into what my business is. I have an amazing plumber and electrician and painter and all these power teams that you build. And, it doesn't just end. And because I can reach out, hey, Alex, hey, Michael, do you know anyone on this end that might be able to help us? And those are the things that when you build with your clients, that they know that they can go to you as a one-stop shop. And like you just said, if I don't know it, I'll look into it or I'll investigate. I mean, that's huge.
I agree.
When you can take the anxiety away from your clients because they don't know what to do next, and they know that they can trust in you, and they can just sit back and relax.
Look, in your case, it's arguably the biggest financial transaction of their lives, or at least one of them. Very serious. It's where their family will grow over years, decades, potentially, right? That's serious business.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, the home that you find for that particular person that you are responsible for them finding, think about it. Their life is being had there. That's really serious.
Yeah.
A decision that one makes 10, 15 years ago is like still part of the everyday. And I think that's so interesting. And, we do take on I don't know what the word is, the burdens or the issues of our clients because we care. Oftentimes clients will ask me things that are, let's say, tangentially related to what we do, but it's not relating to my piece of it. But I feel like it's my duty to see it through and to help support them, because what's the alternative? There is nowhere else to go that really makes any sense. And one of the things I love doing is connecting my clients to other professionals. Not money. It's nothing to do with money.
Yeah.
I just love when I can say, listen to me, this person, just go hire this person.
Yeah.
And
you hit it out of the park with Adam. Like I've known Adam.
I've known
Adam since UNLV. And so when you're like, I've got this awesome videographer, you got to trust me on this one. And when I saw his name, I was like, dude, come on. Like, I know his work. Like,
we got to get this clip to him so he can see this piece.
Yeah.
He's something else. And just being, again, it comes down to it. No discussion needs to be had with Adam. He doesn't need to be told what to do. He just needs to be like, yep, thanks, bye. It's a 1 minute conversation, which is appreciated, because on the other side of it, if you hire the wrong person, it does not matter how much instruction you give. The end result is going to be poor.
Yeah.
And not poor, but you hire the wrong person, it's not going to work out no matter how much time they put into it.
Yeah.
So I love that about professionals. It's that they can execute and quickly and easily, right? Like I often say, Eugene, my head of design, 500 projects we've done together, approximately, 400 or 500 at least. The amount of discussion is minimal, necessary, right? Just because we know what we like, we know what we do, we have a process defined, et cetera. And that's the beauty of working with professionals. Yeah. Let me.
Well, just the trust, right?
Yes.
The trust level that you're not having to worry about what the outcome's going to look like, because you trust the outcome. You trust the referral.
Yep.
I mean, that is, I'm gonna say, like you just said, I'm a over connector. Like I'm the one who's like, Alex meet Joe, Joe meet Alex. We did this and that. So, I mean, sometimes people are like, dude, you need to profit off these connections. Like, you know what? I believe more in karma than profiting off the connections. Like, will it happen? Yes. I mean, But inevitably, it's more important to me to connect two pieces that need to be together
Yep.
than to somehow profit off that connection.
You and I are completely aligned in that. It brings me, for whatever reason, some very good feeling to be able to say, look, just do this. And it reminds me, many years ago, I read a book. I believe it was by a gentleman, last name Covey. It was called The
Stephen
Speed
Covey?
of Trust. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it was called Speed of Trust. And I believe that one of the points was, again, like when one can build trust quickly and easily, like it just opens the doors so much faster to be able to execute good work. You know, I find myself occasionally in conversations with prospective clients that like, I find myself having to like convince almost, right? And it's almost like, hey, here's our skill set. Let's talk the design, right? We're lucky, thank God, to have a big portfolio. It should be very clear. If you go to our portfolio, wow, they've done a lot of websites. There's a ton of stuff there. And I have a big backlog of putting stuff on there. Like occasionally I'll be like, guys, we got to get the last 30 that we launched on here. Like, come on, you know, but we have a lot of stuff on there. And you know, I think about how can I build trust with someone that doesn't know me, that isn't a referral, right? That isn't a referral. You know, I know right now if you were to go to call somebody else and say, look, you got to just call Alex. Just stop. Just call Alex.
Yeah.
Same for me. If I said something to send someone to you, I would speak very strongly about that. That's very good. But someone that doesn't know me, saw an advertisement of mine, Google Ads, Meta, Facebook, Instagram, et cetera. I think part of it is what we're doing right now, having conversations. People can get to know it and to know us and our opinions on things. That's why I continue to do this type of thing. And I think it's being respectful of people's time, showing up when you say you're going to show up, doing the things you say you're going to do, following up, et cetera. All these things are all part of building trust. And is there anything else in your professional life that like are foundational things for you of which you bring to your relationships or that you think is important to note?
Well, you know, the thing about it is I spend very little on advertising.
It's a great problem to have.
Because, well, and the reason I say that is because I would much rather put that money back into my clients. So I think I don't know if we've spoken about this before, but you know, I rent a movie theater every year and I invite every one of my clients, and whether I worked with them 10 years ago or last week, whether it was a rental or as a sale or purchase of a home. And I would rather spend the money on doing that. Now, I think this year I might change it up a little bit and do like a movie in the park where it might be a little bit more family friendly and we get to kind of hang out, maybe have, you know, my friend Michelle has a like a mobile charcuterie. And so we might do like maybe Back to the Future, something iconic, right?
Yeah.
So I do that in the spring, summertime. And then in December, I do Big Al's Magical Village. Now I used to deliver all of my pastries to everybody, but it's just become too much. So now I do one in the Northwest, one in the Southwest, and one in Green Valley. And, you know, we put up a 10 by 10 tent with a backdrop and take a picture with everybody. And I give everybody, you know, homemade Greek pastries. And then we have also added a dynamic of donations for animal rescue. And this year, U-Haul donated a truck, and we didn't fill the truck, but that's, you know, we'll hopefully build to that. But I mean, we got an amazing amount of stuff, right? So the relationships that I would rather put more into the relationships, so that you said when somebody says, "Hey, you got to talk to Alex," they don't have to. You know, I'm not competing with 5 other people, because if I got a referral from Jen, and she said, you got to use this guy, Alex. Like, you don't have to look around, because you know he'll take care of you. He'll look out for your best interests. He'll, you know, I mean, I've not putting this out there per se, but I've had to kick in commission of mine to make a deal happen. Now, do you want to do that every time? No. Have I had to do it numerous times and negotiate it down, or you know, something didn't happen and we had to do something? Like, the deal or the individual is more important than the other aspects of it. I get it. You know, so we always want to be the best we can be. Am I going to get every deal, every client? No. And one of the biggest things that I try and self-reflect on is, why did that not happen? Or why did I not get that client? Why did we not get that home? Well, I must not have done a good enough job, and I need to improve on my skill set, or, you know, whatever it is. And you always know that you're not going to get along perfectly with. Obviously, the first time we met, we hit it off. So,
right away.
You know, that's a whole, other thing, but you are going to have to realize that everybody's personalities are different.
Yeah.
So there's a system that I'm a part of. It's called the bank, and it's like a personality. And you've got a blueprint who may be very analytical, very kind of OCD possibly. You have an action who dresses the part, is results driven, and then you have somebody who knowledge, maybe very techie and nurturing, which is kind of what I am, where we're in the fields, right? We want to make sure that everything is perfect. We want to make sure our client feels good at all times. We want to make sure they're not stressed out. If they hit you up at 10 o'clock at night, my wife may be like, babe, can you put your phone down? I'm like, yeah, but this person had a question. So I always want to make sure that I'm putting as much of myself out there. And when you meet others that do the same, like you guys, you guys definitely, every time we ever asked, you went out of your way, whether it was connecting us with Give Butter, whether it was, helping us with the last event that we had, everything that we needed, we could reach out and know that those pieces were being taken care of. And
it's a long-term relationship. And something you mentioned that is so much of me too. Like, I am not perfect. I make mistakes.
Yep.
I made a mistake earlier today, right? But I pick up the phone. I say to the client, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I really am. I'm sorry. And I'll do my best to fix it. And frankly, I take mistakes and I take client disappointments to heart.
Yeah.
Not often do clients leave Sage, but when they do, I'm thinking about it for days, maybe weeks, right?
Yeah.
It's in my mind, right? Because I take it as I failed you somehow. Now, maybe it's for some reason they closed the business, some other reason, whatever it is. But doesn't happen often, but I suspect you're the same way. You're asking yourself, like you said earlier, like, is it something that I did wrong? How could I improve upon this?
Yeah.
I don't have a perfect track record. I don't think anybody does. But I think as long as we're like always learning, always putting our best foot forward, and not just saying, oh, well, it must be something they did.
Yeah.
No. It's always an opportunity to grow and to say, I didn't handle this particular thing well. Now, I often, a couple of, those kinds of scenarios that I can think of in the last year or so, I actually remember on a podcast, like saying like, no, this is how you handle this situation. And I don't even do it, although I know it, right? So again, I'm not perfect, but I think it's the being able to say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. It's super important. And learning from it and trying not to repeat it.
Yeah.
Another thing too, like you mentioned, and I wanted to comment on, so often people forget about their best customers, which is their people that have already paid them, right? People that have already interacted with them. So often it's this chase to like, how do I bring on new, and less focus on, well, I have this whole book of clients that have paid me, that have had very likely high quality experience with me, that probably I should be inviting them to special events that I'm hosting several times. That is awesome that you do that. In fact, I'm committing myself, and I'm doing it on camera here. First quarter of 2026, I'm putting on client appreciation. We'll have some nice lunch somewhere. I want 50, 60 people to get together. And I'm going to say, there's no way you're coming to this event and you're not going to meet some rock star that can have a benefit in your business, period. Right?
Well, what you'll see too, and this has been a side success aspect of it, is people have been coming now. I think this would be my 5th or 6th year that I've done the movie, and then the second time that I did the Big Al's Magical Village. But people are coming and they see people that they saw, and they've created relationships where like, it was great seeing you last year, and you never know who's going to be in the room. You never know who's going to connect because of that. So that's been a really awesome byproduct of these events. Yeah. And again, it's just an awesome opportunity. And even as Michael and I were talking about earlier, is number one, the most important thing is putting that invitation out there. Not everybody's going to be able to show up, but the people that you extend that invitation to, they know that you care and you're putting an event together.
Yep.
They may not be able to make it. Maybe they'll be able to make it next year, whatever. People's schedules are crazy. But if they know that you cared enough to include them, invite them, and hopefully they show up and enjoy themselves. And you never know. I mean, stuff goes, people interact and it just strengthens everything.
Yep.
And they know that, again, I would rather spend my money on them rather than trying to buy new leads that don't care about you. They really, every once in a while you'll get lucky and you'll hit it off. I've got a listing where a client hit me up off of my listing, and we hit it off, and so now I'm helping her. But personality work. But when there's no direct tie, it's very easy for them to,
It's true.
peace out.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the work you did. I know you didn't earn anything because we don't get paid until the deal closes.
Sure,
So
sure.
yeah, you could have spent weeks, months, you know. So that's why the relationship is so important.
Yep.
And we always, I have some advertisements out there in some magazines, and it's funny. I've done some business with the other advertisers, not necessarily some of the ads that are in the magazine, but I've gotten to know because the owner of the magazine has put some events together.
Yep.
And once again, it was the opportunity to interact, and you both know that you're working together, and you kind of came for a mutual reason, and then we've ended up doing business. So even though the ad may not have created any business, the relationship did.
Sure.
And that's, once again,
And Vegas is a relatively small town, right? People know.
it,
Everyone knows
1 degree
each
is
other.
separate. It is not.
Yeah, literally 1 degree.
No
Yeah,
7 degrees is
Yeah,
Kevin
yeah.
Bacon. It's literally like 1 degree
You're
of
right.
separation.
I agree with that. I agree. I can't drive from one place to the next and not see client billboards that I've done work for and all that. Like it's all over. It's all over.
I took my mom to a Golden Knights game, and before we even got out of the parking garage, I'd run into like 3 or 4 people, and she's like, "Do you literally know everybody here?" I'm like, "Nah, I just got lucky, just saw everybody at one time."
But now with tens of thousands of people seeing your ads for Greek Fest,
Yeah,
it's
right.
Gonna be
People like,
it's going to be even worse. One story that comes to mind. You mentioned Give Butter. I have to bring it up. We were on a call early in our relationship with this provider that does great stuff.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And I remember saying, well, this is Alex. Well, I'm also Alex. And I remember saying to him something like, well, he goes by Big Al, and you can call me Little Al. And he's like, I don't know if I'm comfortable calling you Little Al.
Yeah.
I think he was serious. I said, listen, sir, I'm 5'9", and with my shoes on 5'10". So
yeah. Well, a friend of mine, their dad has Big Al license plate, and my buddy's dad has known the real Big Al for years and years. I believe in the casino industry. So my whole life I've been waiting to be able to get that license plate. Once he lets go of that license plate, I'll get Big Al. But until then, I had to be BIGGAL. With the Golden Knights one, I got BGAL. So and it was funny. Like I'm trying to lose weight. And had that conversation with somebody like, so if you continue to lose weight, are you still going to be Big Al? I was like, well, I don't know if I want to be, medium Al, like,
You certainly want to be Little Al.
I think regardless, even if I continue to lose weight, I'm still always going to be Big Al, which is fine with me.
You're also very tall. I mean, it's like
which is fine.
You're a big guy.
Look, embrace it, right?
You have a big personality also. As I said before,
I like that.
Who is not going to want to hear from you? The moment I met you, I said, this guy is just a fantastic human being. I love him.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
of
appreciate
course,
that.
of course. So look, we talked about successes of our partnership in the Greek Fest, trust, importance, etc. I love all of those things. What you do in order to foster those relationships with your clients. My promise of what I will do in 2026.
I'm gonna keep you.
It's happening. That's
take you to task on that.
That's it, Madeline. You hear me? We're doing it. And that's it. So I really look forward to that. I pray for our continued successes in our respective businesses, professionally, personally, etc. And, it's a great honor to know you and to do work together. May I have many clients that are like you. It would be a blessing. So thank you very much for the time.
And our new families too. I mean, you're newbie, and my daughter's 4.5, so it's still very, very new. I swear, I mean, it'll be 4.5 years before. I mean, you have others.
10 months and 3 years.
Yeah. So, Sammy, she'll be 5 in March, and it's just like Jen and I will text back pictures and videos.
Like, every day we do.
What happens?
I know.
I still embrace every single day.
I know.
But I've realized that's why people have large numbers of families, because they see all these pictures and these videos, and they don't think about the sleepless nights or the tantrums or whatever else. They only remember these pictures and these videos, and it's awesome. But that's another thing. I know for you and for myself, I want to be an example.
Yes.
I want to be a good example for my daughter to look up to, and my godson and my goddaughter, and just people in general. I just, I don't want to be number one, I don't want to be a bad person. My parents were amazing. My dad, passed years ago, but my mom, still one of my biggest idols, and everything that I've learned from my parents. I mean, even my dad, I even say that sometimes I learned some things that one of the things that I say that maybe he didn't do the best job of was taking responsibility. And so that was something that I always want to make sure that I do. Right. I don't ever want to blame anybody else, because at the end of the day, the buck stops here, and I need to make sure that I'm a good real estate agent. I'm a good father. I'm a good, on the parish council. So, that's a very important thing. I did an interview for a magazine. They're going to do a little article, and they said, what are some of the, because again, 3,000 deals are done a month in real estate. I'm not going to be able to do them all. That they asked, what are some things that you think, somebody should ask your realtor, buy or sell, whatever, either side of the deal, doesn't matter. It was like, you need to find out about the individual. An agent can give you their stats, but you need to find out what that person brings to the table professionally and personally. Like, are they a good person? Are they going to treat the other side of the deal? Are they going to treat you with respect? I mean, there's so many other aspects of the person that I try and be, and the people that I kind of keep around me. And so when you meet somebody that's an awesome person in more ways than one, like it's important. Like, you want to have just solid people that have integrity and do a good job. And like you said, keep their word. And those are just when you meet those people and when you can do business with them, it's really important.
Keep them close.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. And do what you can in order to make sure that they're referred, et cetera. That's, again,
Absolutely.
coming back to what I said, I love to do it. I can't help myself. Every
Absolutely.
opportunity I get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, thank you for everything.
I loved it.
I know
I loved it.
This conversation could probably go on for another couple hours.
It could, especially you get me started with the children, and I'm like, I can't stop.
Yeah.
I said, I'm literally looking at photos of my daughter from a year, 2 years ago. We're crying every day. Like, we just can't believe it.
Yeah.
Can't believe how much she's grown. It's just crazy. But
Yeah.
every season, every year, there's new fun things happening. It's, you know very well. So
The stuff that comes out of their mouth. Oh,
incredible.
My goodness.
Incredible.
Like, it is hilarious. And you're like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
But no, it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.